What is going on, guys? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Tuesday MLB edition of my DFS podcast. We have 13 games on tonight's main slate. We're coming off of a great night last night. There's no rain to look at for any of these games, which is always a huge thing. I'm going to look to, build off of last night. The video plays did pretty well, so if you watched yesterday's video, you probably had a pretty decent night. If you used my full lineups off of my website, you definitely had a decent night. Let's do it again tonight. Like this video, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you for stopping by as always. So for pitcher tonight, you got a great matchup with Verlander and Dylan Cease. Astros against the White Sox. They're both very expensive, $10,900 for Cease, with a tough matchup against that Astros lineup. Verlander, on the road, $11,200, going to be tough for him to get the win against Cease. He obviously has great upside, but I like Robbie Ray the most at $10,300, a little bit cheaper. He's against an Angels team that is not good, especially when they don't have Mike Trout in the lineup. He's a pretty decent favorite here. Mariners should be able to give him some run support against Jose Suarez with a 4 ERA. Robbie Ray's had two really good starts over the last two. One of those two starts being the Angels. 7 innings, 10 Ks, absolutely mowed them down. He had a couple of rough starts there about a month ago, but it looks like he's bounced back. All starters go through some cold spells throughout the year. Looking solid over his last 13 innings. And if you forget about those two games in there, both against Houston, a tough matchup, before that, he was extremely solid, going at least 6 innings in like 7 straight starts. This guy can really rack up the points. He's a big strikeout guy. Double-digit strikeouts are his ceiling. He's very capable of doing it. I like this price at $10,300. There's also some cheap guys you could look at tonight. Let's see. Jose Quintana is a sneaky, huge favorite at home against the Rockies. He's been really good since he's come over to St. Louis. He's over a minus 200 favorite. I think the total's like only 8. 3.37 ERA. He went through, he used to be pretty damn good on the Cubs. Got traded around. Actually, it was the White Sox he started with, and he was pretty good. Got traded around, wasn't so great. But now he seems pretty good. I mean, look at his last 4 starts. 43, 29, 40, 40. He's got a great matchup against the Rockies tonight. There's a reason why Vegas loves him. $8,400, a pretty cheap price on him. And then another cheap guy you could look at, a sneaky big favorite as well. Oh, I think he's like a minus 200 against the Tigers. Zach Plesac, $7,800, really cheap. This is definitely more of a GPP play. High risk, high reward. Last time he faced the Tigers, 6 1/3 innings, 7 Ks. Tigers are one of the worst offenses in the league. It's not a coincidence that he had one of his best starts of the year against the Tigers. Vegas seems to really like the Guardians and Plesac tonight. So if you need that cheap pitcher with some risk in a tournament, you can look towards Zach Plesac. For the infield, let's go to Vlad. They're sneaking not a lot of huge, high totals tonight. There's a lot of good pitchers out there. A lot of pitcher-friendly ballparks on this slate as well. But the Blue Jays should be able to hit Dean Kramer of the Orioles. Vlad was pretty popular last night, hit a homer. He's just one of the best hitters in the league. He hasn't had the best second half of the year, but maybe his home run last night can really propel him into getting into a nice hot streak. Kramer of the Orioles, or Kremer, however you want to pronounce it, had a really good start to the year, a 3.69 ERA overall, but that ERA was a lot lower. If you look at his last, month or so, he's got some ugly starts in there. 10 hits against the Reds, 4 earned, had a great start against the Pirates, but that's the Pirates. Before that, 6 earned against the Reds, 4 earned against the Yankees, so 3 out of his last 4 starts, he's given up 4 earned or more. That ERA has really come up over the last few starts or so, and he doesn't have his job getting any easier tonight in Toronto against the Blue Jays lineup that also gets George Springer back from injury as he came back last night. So Kremer's got a lot on his plate. The Blue Jays are one of the best teams to stack tonight. Vlad at under 4,000 is a good value play. Second base, he was so popular last night. He was over 90% in cash games. Marcus Semien, 2,400 really doesn't make any sense. He ended up homering last night, so the chalk Semien really paid off. 2 for 4. I don't understand why his price was so cheap. You know, he was 0 for 9 over his last 2 games, but that's not really a slump. You know, before that, he was on a 5-game hitting streak. Rangers, one of the highest team projected totals tonight against JP Sears of the Athletics. It's an 8.5 over-under, which is one of the higher over-unders on tonight's slate, and the Rangers are like minus 130 favorites. So Semien, righty-lefty matchup. He led off last night, probably leading off again tonight, maybe batting second. At 2,400, this is just an automatic play. You know, he's the guy that's been 3,400 this year, you know, even a little bit higher, so this price really makes no sense. For the outfield, loving the Cubs too tonight. Ian Happ was big-time chalk city on Sunday. A lot of people had him. He really, you know, didn't pay it off. He went 1 for 4 with a walk. And then last night, the day after his chalk day, where he wasn't really owned, he goes double dong. So that was really tough. But if you look at his game log, the guy is hot. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. 4 of those 7 games are multi-hit games. He now has 3 home runs in his last 3 games. And this is a fantastic matchup against Patrick Corbin. Corbin, one of the worst rotational starters in the entire MLB. I don't understand why he even continues to start. I mean, the Nationals are bad, but 4-16 ERA or 4-16 record with a 7.02 ERA. Cubs are one of the best teams to stack. They're very affordable. 3,100. Happ should be batting third. He's a switch hitter, so he'll have that righty-lefty matchup. I love Ian Happ tonight. He seems to be seeing the ball really well. And then for the same reasons, probably batting right behind him, Seiya Suzuki, 2,900, righty-lefty matchup. He's one of the best value plays on tonight's slate as well. These Cubs are just in a great spot against Patrick Corbin. 2 for 4 last night. He has a lot of potential. You know, he's just one of those Japan players who, you know, he went through a little bit of an injury spell this year, but it is his rookie year. Not bad. His numbers aren't terrible considering how many games he's played. I do like what I've seen from him so far this year. Maybe he can even get hotter to end this regular season, but this is a fantastic spot for Suzuki and the Cubs. 2,900, great value play in the outfield. Forgot to go to my prize picks play. Carlos Correa, that was my prize picks last video. Easily got over his fantasy score. We're going to go with the best value play on tonight's slate, Marcus Semien, 6.5 fantasy score. He's going to get 4 at-bats, maybe 5. It's just not that hard to get over 6.5 fantasy score with prize picks. You know, a couple singles and a run, that's really all you need. He's a guy that homers a lot too, so I'm really not afraid of this number at all. I think it's too low. We're going to hammer over 6.5 for Semien and load him up in all of our lineups and watch him produce tonight. That'll sum it up for today's video, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, I am the FD Guru, and I am signing off. See ya.